Good morning, classmates. Today I am going to report about approaches in teaching listening. Bottom-up, top-down, and interactive. First, what is teaching approach? Teaching approach, it is a set of principles, beliefs, or ideas about the nature of learning, which is translated into the classroom. And there are 5 approaches in teaching listening: appreciative, empathic, comprehensive, discerning, and evaluative. First, what is appreciative? Appreciative listeners simple, enjoy the interaction and listen to enjoyment, humor, and to connect with others. The second one is empathic. Listeners listen to understand others better. They try to understand both the speaker's perspective and emotions. The third one is comprehensive. Comprehensive listeners focus on the main ideas. They are naturally good at identifying problems and opportunities even when people are disorganized. The fourth one is discerning. Listeners pay attention to details others miss. They minimize distractions and listen for specific detailed information. The last one is evaluative. Listeners listen for information that will help them evaluate or judge the accuracy of the speaker or the content. And there are 2 processes are involved in listening. It is top-down listening strategies and bottom-up listening strategies. First, what is top-down listening strategies? Top-down listening happens when we use background knowledge to make sense of what we are listening to. We already know a fair amount about the topic, and the story or information we are getting fits into a previously established schema. And these are the listening strategies of top-down. First, what is identify the topic? Identify the topic before you start figuring out what the speaker is saying. Make sure you know what they are talking about in general. The second one is identify the speaker. What do you know about this person? What he or she thinks and he or she speaks. Remembering these things in advance will help you to make sense of what you hear today. The third one is make a prediction. Think about what you already know about this topic and what you have heard the speaker say about it before. This will help you make a good guess about what they are going to talk about. The fourth one is remember some vocabulary. Think of some of the keywords and phrases you know in relation to this topic and what they mean. The fifth one is form pictures in your mind. As you listen, allow yourself to do some envisioning based on the words you are heard. Envisioning is one of the ways you will put what you are heard and into the context with what you already know about them. The next one is stay focused. Even though you have a lot of prior knowledge, you make sure you are maintaining eye contact with the speaker and reeling yourself back in if you find yourself getting distracted. The last one is take notes. Sometimes jotting down a few words and phrases will hold you accountable and help you put what you have heard into context with what you already know. The next one is bottom-up listening strategies. Bottom-up listening strategies uses sounds, words, and other small units to create meaning. Why is bottom-up listening is important? The bottom-up approach involves listening exercise which develop bottom-up processing, helping learners to recognize individual words and sentences. Divisions recognize key linguistic features of the word, and sentences. So, what are the example of bottom-up listening? Many traditional classroom listening activities focus primarily on bottom-up processing, which exercise such as dictation, close listening, and the use of multiple choice questions after a text. And these are the strategies of bottom-up listening. Focus on stressed words. Listen for longer, louder words, usually verbs, nouns, adjectives, and adverbal. These words carry the most important information. The second one is pay attention to repeated terms and pauses. Take these as cues for possible key points in lecture. The last one is keep going. Avoid trying to understand every word in spoken language. Not all words are important, nor are they always grammatical. And let's proceed what is interactive. This means you have to work at constructing the meaning from the sounds heard by our ears used as necessary. And there are two ways process of interactive. It is the active listeners and the passive listeners. First, what is active listeners? Active listeners are those individuals who are actively involved in the process of communication. The second one is passive listener, means listening to the speaker during the communication. And there are the example of active listeners. So, when we say active listeners, are those individuals who are actively involved in the process of communication, not just by attentively listening to the message, but also by carefully notice the manner in which the message is delivered. In other words, active listeners pay attention to the content and manner. Active listeners often seek clarifications, nod their head, or timely intervals, ask leading questions, and also summarize the content. And when we say passive listeners, passive listening means listening to the speaker during the communication, but in an unconscious manner. This means that the listener is not present physically but may not be paying attention to the speaker's speech, due to which the message is not absorbed by the listeners. That's all. Thank you.